Hey everybody, we're back for part 2. Due to broadcast interruptions, don't even know what that whole thing was about, but we're still working on our tree. So if you guys are just joining me, we're working on our Christmas tree. So I am almost to the top. I stopped until Steve was able to get everything situated. And today I'm looking at my colors. I didn't cut enough. Oh, you didn't cut enough of your plaid. You cut too much of the other plaid. We needed this. So let me cut a couple more pieces. So this is why having all of this stuff done, Boba, you need to go. No. Thank you. We were giving him cookies because he thought that we were done. So let's cut a couple pieces of this. I think 2 should do it. Is it working?
Yep.
Okay. So as you can see, I'm really sandwiching and overlapping these. Rather than spacing them out, I'm actually bringing them together. I'm making sure again that my pins are pointed down. So this should cover the last piece. Hopefully you guys are all jumped back on.
Yeah, they're jumping back on, but God, what a delay.
Yeah, our Mevo crashed. Our Mevo actually froze. Yeah. But then so did the Facebook broadcast interruption.
I think it did because our Mevo did. Yeah. No,
it shouldn't have done it. So I'm just making sure those are all done close to the top. And then what do we... I'm looking at my color. Green. So we're going to add green to the top. And this is where I kind of do a little bit something different. I call it like a little balloon technique. Because right now we're pretty much right at the top. So instead of doing our loop and leaving it like this, I kind of fold it so that I can get one pin in there. And this is what I call the balloon. Because that's what it looks like, balloon swag.
So you like pinching the ends, right?
Yeah, I'm just kind of scrunching it. And then I will do the same, even though it kind of came unscrunched right there. Once we get a couple of them in. And then I'm going to try to pull just the green pins for this top so that we're swagging it. And I'll pull the other one out and replace it with a green. So I'm just kind of gathering at the very top. So it kind of makes a little triangle. And I just kind of put the triangles together and put a pin right in the middle of it.
Elaine had asked earlier, but it must have been right before we got cut off.
Probably.
Have you ever tried making a tree with burlap?
I have not. Burlap has a tendency, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of burlap because it's so itchy and the fibers just get everywhere. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure you could. I just haven't done it.
No problem, Kay. She said just tuning in. I'll watch the replay. We had a broadcast interruption, so we all just jumped back
parts.
on. Yeah.
So look for part 1 and then part 2.
Carla said, hey, from Detroit, I always learned so much from you, Kat. Thanks.
Oh, thanks, Carla. So again, this is where, if in my private group you guys are looking at the last layer and you're like, why are there so many? Like it went from maybe 5 and now you're like, there's 10 pieces. Because I'm kind of doing something different with the top and kind of making these like little balloon pieces. Mm-hmm. Because what people have a tendency of doing is just there's 4 pieces and that's the end of it. Right. So as you can see, it's just kind of turning into a little balloon swag. So I'm going to cut a couple more pieces. How did we come up so backwards? Because it's like, look, we have a ton of these.
Well, you told me to cut an extra 10 because that's what you were going to use the top layer with, but
it was supposed to be this plaid. Oh. And I think you cut the diagonal one, so my fault. I should have specified.
That's all right.
specified where.
She said I had made a similar Just Kiss Christmas to You many years ago when our sons were younger. Yeah.
I remember those days. Yeah, Hershey's Kiss Christmas trees.
Yep.
So, just making little swags. I tried to fix the overall design because it just looks so unfinished having it, like some people would just put ribbon on the top and then finish it, and I was like, there has to be some other way. So we're doing these little balloon swags. That's what I call them because they look like little buckets. Little
Deborah,
buckets.
yeah, you're right. She said the linen ribbon might be an alternative to the burlap. It would be similar look, but not the fraying and itching.
Yes. Like the natural, or like the jute, the synthetic, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping one more piece should do it. Hoping. So let's see. Nope, we need one more. I'm just like trying to fill as best as I can. So I have just this little itty bitty hole right there. And that's what I'm working with. Other people probably would have spaced out the ribbon and said, just be done with it. Just cover it. I'm like, no. If I put this much effort into it now, it all needs to be the same. So I'm just matching all my pins.
Mostly depends on how big rolls you have. If these are, 30-foot rolls, then you're probably not even going to have maybe a quarter of a roll per.
No,
He's asking how many rolls. It's probably a quarter roll per.
I thought we said half. Because I finished almost one entire roll of the rose gold, and it's the same one that I made the bow on top with. So now I am.
So about a half a roll of ribbon each, so it's about
depending.
2.5 rolls. Yeah.
Depends on if you're doing a 9 or a 14.
Yeah.
So let me get these all picked back up.
All this ribbon is wired, but Kat said earlier you don't really have to use wired if you don't want to.
You don't really have to do wired. So we're going to do. I like the plaid because it has less tensile strength to make our bow. So we're just going to do a hand bow, which means we're just going to hand tie it. I'm not going to bow dabra it. Cascading down. It's a tree. It needs to be like, keep it minimal. Because I think sometimes it can kind of get away. So I'm doing like 2-inch loops with maybe a 3-inch tail. So I'm just kind of hand doing this, trying to make a 6-loop bow. So we'll see how well this comes out. I really hate hand tying bows. I'm such a bow dabra person. Okay.
Doris, it keeps stopping. Yeah, I saw it did a kind of quick glitch, but then started again.
Hopefully it'll just stop. Okay, so here should be the last loop and then our tail. And then we'll get some floral wire to just secure all this together. And I'm using 26 gauge wire. And I'm gonna lasso all this together. Because really the only thing that I have is at the very, very top. You could take ribbon and cover that, but you're just going to plop your bow on it. Where do we get these? Hobby Lobby sells in the miniature section little stars. You can do a wide variety of different stars for the top. You could just cover this and then come back in and add just a regular star to the top. But they're in the miniature sections for their miniature trees. So this fits in that scale. So let's fluff our bow and dovetail this. I think it came out okay. The bow.
Yeah. Just wish the video would have came out okay.
I know. Hey, you just work with the glitches in technology, right?
Yep.
We just go with whatever happens. So this one is going to sit right on the very top. And I'm looking for green pins, something to match my ribbon. What are you looking for?
Just looking at something.
Okay. So I'm going to take my green straight pins, find another one. There we go. And I'm going to tuck it on the other side, push it right into the top. And there we have our traditional Christmas tree. Ta-da! It's all done. So that one's all done.
Mm-hmm.
So that one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 layers of ribbon to go up a 14-inch foam cone, and it's probably what, maybe a 1/4 inch ribbon, like that you can see peeking out.
Yep.
Roughly, right?
Margie, the very top row, she just kind of pinched the edges. She just pinched the ends and then pinned it in. So she used more ribbon on the very top row to kind of overlap.
So what I did is you're having your 3.5 inch piece. So if you find one that has mediocre tensile strength, those are the best ones to use. So you have it here in your loop like you were for pinning. And then all you're going to do is gather it into a point, and I call them like little balloons. And I add these around and I really stack them and then put the pin right at the very top of the cone, like right here on the edge. So like in this sense, this is what I would do for my pins. Let's see if we can. Wow, it just does not want to come out. So I just do little things like this. And I would go around very, very detailed and keep them very small so that they make these little, it's filling that last space to where you're not doing something that looks like this. This is what I see.
Right.
This is what people will do. They'll do, okay, there's one, there's 2, and let's see, 3. Well, let's see, we can probably squish those together and make it just 3. And so they'll leave them 3, and then they'll just put their bow on the top, and then that's it. And that to me just doesn't look finished. It's like keeping the detail of what you have going all the way to the top needs to finish at the very top to where you're not just trying to plop a bow on the top to hide the mess.
Right.
So let's go ahead and finish. This is our primitive one, and this one's a little bit different. So the technique's a little different. So let me go ahead and pull. This ribbon is all cut to 4 inches. So you need it a little bit longer to make the cone. And I like these because these are more, they represent like Christmas trees, like a true tree, rather than the ribbon does. So I have these all cut in primitive Christmas patterns. So I'll push that over there. And then what you're doing is I'm doing green, and then I'm alternating green and then the Christmas tree pattern, green and then the gingham, green and then the Christmas branches, and then you just kind of keep stacking that layer. And then in here, each one of the cones is going in between the other branches. So we're going to go ahead and start with the gingham. So what you do, 4-inch pieces, you're going to kind of bring them together into a cone by doing this, and then you're going to match up your ends. So you bring a point to your point, and then you have this little flap. So you're gonna hold it on the point. This is where you need the glue, and you're just gonna put a little dab of glue right on the edge, kind of tack that down, because you don't want to see the little flap. And so right where I have my finger is right where I'm going to be pinning that, and I'm using the longer pins for this one. I don't know why, we just did. So these all have to get angled down. So you're going to start right in between, trying to get this positioned, right in between where you have your other two branches. And having them so drastically color coded can kind of show you where they need to be. And so you're just making little cones. And then I just tack down the corner. Otherwise the corner would stay open and they don't look very good. So you really have to make sure when you're doing your next one, you're overlapping the one next to it, and I'll show you. You're overlapping the cone next to it, but also going in between. So each time you're making a cone, kind of overlapping a little bit. Little tag, and I have my glue gun on low so that when I go to push that down, it's not hot. It's hot enough to put the glue on it, and then angle down so that hopefully you guys can see that.
Yeah.
Push those to the side.
Kate said I like the way the primitive tree looks like a real tree.
It does. So these ones are all just made using little cones. So you just got to kind of manipulate your ribbon to where you're matching up your pieces.
So no, these pieces are cut to 4 inches.
Yes, these ones are 4. You need a little bit longer, otherwise you would not have enough ribbon to make a cone.
Right.
At all. Like it would come up way short. So I just keep going around and I just kind of stack kind of on top of the one preceding it. And I'll show you again. And angling down. So as you can see, I'm sitting it on top of the other one, pushing my pen down. See if I can try to do it so you can see. Sometimes I forget how to make the cones. This is where wired ribbon really helps, because it can keep that cone shape, the little points.
Right. So on this type you would want the wired ribbon.
Yes, this one you definitely want wired. So this one will look more like a true Christmas tree with the points on it.
Yep.
So even though it's smaller, there's an awful lot of work involved to make it look good. Like I guess if you wanted to just rush through it, you could probably spray paint the whole thing. Trying to get my ribbon unfluff. Spray paint the whole thing green.
Mm-hmm.
And then try to do bigger layers, but I just don't think the results turns out the same. Like when you're trying to do shortcuts, it kind of looks like shortcuts.
Kathy asked, why are you using longer stick pins on this one?
I just wanted all white, so that's just kind of what I had. I could have just used the regular ones, but that's just what I had. I was trying to keep them all consistent on this one. So see, it's just nice, because even though if you see them sometimes between, it's like a nice little pattern. like I think when we did our Valentine's wreath, when we used the felt, sometimes having that handmade look where you can go in there and occasionally see, you know, a nice red or gold pin, it just kind of, it lends an air to the fact that it's homemade. You know, it's not going to look like a store-made product. It's going to be homemade. But it doesn't have to look homemade. So I just take my time making my branches. So sometimes your wired ribbon, like just trying to wrap it around your finger and then just sliding your ribbon up and then tagging your corner. These ones take a little longer. So, but again, as we get closer to the top, it'll use less and it'll start to go a little quicker. What do you guys think of these so far?
Yeah, they both love them. They said they like the different style of the one you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
You can get the ribbon from anywhere. As long as you find matching ribbon that you like, that's what you go for.
Yeah, like this one, all the Joann's. I think all the ribbon that I picked, Joann's, and then the gingham was from Craft Outlet. I wanted, so Joann's, Craft Outlet. Right, that's all we did.
Yep.
Okay, here's my last one, and then we go green.
So she wanted to keep this one more like a Christmas tree color.
Yeah,
So that's why she's doing the green every other row.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, like I said, you can look for them on Pinterest. And it's weird. Pinterest has changed now. It used to have links to where, like, if people had tutorials for their designs, you used to be able to click on the picture and it would take you to those places. But what people are ending up doing right now is they're just, you know, screenshotting somebody's pin and pinning it, so we don't know how to do it. What are you looking at? Hearing something?
No, Bella's being a pain.
Oh, Bella's being a pain?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Barbara said, glad you're doing this for us. Thank you. Nicole said, thank you. Love the color of this one.
Yeah.
Cindy said, they're darling. Love the natural tree.
I like this one too. When I had purchased these, I knew I wanted to do something very rustic. So, having this look, I mean, there's so many different color combinations. Like when I was going through my ribbon, I was like, oh, gray and white and red would be really pretty.
And you could also paint the cone. Or Joann's makes, also sells the green ones.
Yeah, it's like a lime colored, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a lighter green.
So it just depends. I mean, you could color it, but I just like leaving them. I just wish I could glue these faster so that we're not waiting in between. But hopefully you guys will like the turnout of this one. I don't even know how we're going to do the top. I would like it to look like a cone. So I'm thinking we'll do something like this on the top. But I don't know because we haven't gotten there yet. And I didn't do one ahead of time. I ran out of time to have one like already pre-done so you could see what it looked like done. So then you can decide, well, which way do you want to go? This way, at least, it gives you two different techniques. So if you wanted to do something a little bit more elegant, you could do this one. It just takes, it's tedious. It's time consuming.
Yeah, it's probably better to do the smaller cones because, like I said, it takes a lot more time.
Well, the ribbon.
Right.
So
and the gluing.
It's not that, it's the ribbon. I'm trying to get them to points,
right,
so that it looks like that on a tree. Otherwise it's just an open-ended little cannoli, I guess. And
Patty, the tutorial is on Kat's Etsy shop. So you go to etsy.com/shop/KatsCreations777, and you should be able to scroll down and look for the angel tree topper tutorial video.
yeah, it looks like the patriotic angel. So
Yep.
that was the one that we showed you at the time, but I also in the tutorial will tell you, okay, here's where you would make the changes to whatever season you're gonna do. We just didn't think that there'd be a ton of people who would want to do it. Make angels. The angels are doing really well right now. They are definitely a good craft fair item. They did really well for us at our first craft fairs, right?
Yeah, super well.
Because they're things that you can lay out on the table that don't take a lot of space.
Yep. So Peggy, she's kind of folding the 4-inch ribbon into a cone shape
Yeah, so
with kind of tips at the end.
because I'm finished with this layer. So I just kind of wind it around my finger. And what I do is I take this corner and I'm matching it to this corner. So I take the corners and match. And then you've got to make sure the wire on the inside stays not folded. And then you're just going to tag that corner and fold it back. Just like this. So you have a little cone. Just like a little cone.
Right.
And that's what we're hoping is going to go on the very top of the tree. So I finished that layer. So that's what that one looks like. And now we're doing the tree branch.
Okay, you could. She said maybe a little pine cone on top. That'd be cute.
Yes, you could definitely do that. But I'm leaning towards the, like, having the cone be at the very, very top. I just don't know how that'll play out until we get to the top. I don't even know if we did that on the last one, like when we did these last year. I did one, it was kind of just beige ribbon with a red or like a burgundy and plaid, and I did it like a primitive tree. So the primitive ones have a tendency of doing really well too. Like this one, if you can keep it looking like a traditional Christmas tree, I think it'll go really well. Like you'll sell really well. So, like I said, Joann's, and Joann's. And man, last week they had a really good sale on their ribbon. I'm hoping, does anyone know if Joann's going to be doing that same sale this weekend? If so, you might want to go get your ribbon. Because they have lots of really pretty. Joann's was really stuffed it up this year. I was impressed. And the sad thing is I didn't order any ribbon from Craft Outlet or the Wreaths shop this year. I shopped local.
Nicole said, think I am making a trip to Joann's in the morning?
Right? Make sure you take all of your coupons. Double check the sales. I know if you guys are doing a craft fair in a mountain community, this would probably do really well.
Yeah, Kathy, you could do that. She said you could do the cone shape on the top and then put the star on top of that.
You could.
On the tip of the cone. Yep.
See, you guys are already thinking ahead.
That's where you all get to make up.
Go.
Yep, you all get to make up your own minds if you do your own ones.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it. So if you guys make ribbon Christmas trees, make sure you come back and actually go ahead and post it on my page. I'd love to see what you guys are making. I'd love to see the different ideas. So I am going to take one and I'm gonna go crazy embellishment on it. I'm gonna add lights to one. I'm gonna add, what did we say? We're gonna add a ton of stuff. Some garland to it, some swag, some ornaments. I just want to see how far we can take the design. Push it to the limits.
Yep. All these styrofoam cones are made with 1.5 inch wide ribbon.
Yeah, you can't go any. You can go a lot smaller to do the loop, but it's going to take you a lot longer to fill. So I think the 1.5 inch is perfect. I think if I was to go down, what is it, 7/8 would be the next one down for us?
Yeah.
That we would probably go to the extreme. So I have the choice of putting it right in the middle and just ending it, or just scooching it over a little bit. And our goal is to try to squeeze one more in there. And then we'll go back to green. So hopefully, it would have been nice if the Mevo would have stayed until we finished one, and then we could have done this one, right?
Yep.
So there's that, and now we'll keep going. How many layers so far? 6?
6.
6 on a 9. This one's a 9-inch cone.
So you'll probably get
What did we say?
10 or 11.
We did 15 on that one, so I'm thinking probably 10 will be about the most we'll be able to do. Okay. Okay. So here we go. You know what it reminds me of on Plants vs. Zombies? The pea shooters.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so we used to play. That was our Christmas gift one year when Kindles were all the rage, and then our kids introduced us to Plants vs. Zombies. So then we started playing. I keep stabbing myself with a pen.
Look at that.
I know. Well, because I have my thumb where I need the pin to go, because you're holding it with the cone. And you really need to move your thumb so you can put your pin there. But you don't want to move it too much, because then you lose your space. So this is where the little silicone fingertips would come in handy. So that if you put one on your finger, you could make sure you're not gluing yourself with a hot glue. Mm-hmm. And that's why I have mine on low temperature.
Got this at my grandson loves that game.
Plants vs. Zombies?
Yeah, we haven't played it in a long time.
We used to do that with our kids.
Yep.
It was something we would do.
Hey, Mariana.
Keep everybody happy.
That old high school friend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she's on.
Gotcha. So I'm going to pull some of these out. There we go. And then I think, oh, we have Christmas tree ribbon back. I think we cut everything to what we thought we would need on this one. Mm-hmm. It's just trying to get the loop to stay open and not to cave, not to fold.
Cindy, that's a good thing that if you guys or gals all decide to do these, you can embellish them any way you want. So
Make
if you
them
want
a little different.
She said, yeah, have you thought about gluing berries on the leaves?
No, but you could.
You could do that.
You definitely could. Like I said, there's so many different things you could do, because once they're done, you could add baby pine cones in there. Mm-hmm. That would look really super cute, like it's a true pine tree. You could add the red holly berries, like the pip berries, that size, because you're getting down to scale. Okay, the glue gun is on low. Yeah. You could turn it on high just to get it hot, but then turn it back down low, and you just need a little dab. And you can see I'm just grabbing it and pulling it to put it in my cone. And then I have like one more to go on this row. And then we get to move up. So this one just takes a while, as you guys can tell, right? But the results, oh look, they're worth it, I think. I think this turned out good. Yeah, I love it because it looks really rustic. Like a tree.
Like a vintage, yeah.
And remember, make sure your pins are going down. And now we're doing trees. So now we'll do our pines. And I'm not positioning, you know, trying to make sure I have a particular pattern on my ribbon. It's just pine trees or pine trees. And we just pick a spot. I'm trying to remember, angle down, angle down. Wow.
Yeah.
Right?
He said pipberries would be cute too.
Mm-hmm.
Those pipberries. Yeah, the little red ones are maroon.
Because they're scale.
Yep.
Because everything else, like a regular berry, would just be like way too big.
Yeah.
Depends on where you put it.
Oh, thanks, Phyllis. She said, hey, Kat and Steve, finally got to watch one of your lives. Looking great.
Thank you.
This is part 2 because first time
the first time it just
the video
died.
froze. Yep.
It died. But I see it's happening quite a bit now. Come on, Facebook. You push Facebook Lives. Fix the live stream. Okay. So now that we're getting closer to the top, we don't have as many left to do. So I think 2, maybe 2 more layers and then we're done. Just making sure I get these even and that they're tacked down. And then you're always trying to get them to go in between the branches. Trying to keep all the glue threads off. So what questions do you guys have that I can answer as I continue to glue and pin? This is a 9-inch cone made with 4-inch ribbon, 1.5-inch ribbon cut to 4-inch pieces, turned into little cones. So I'm trying to take it up a level. The other one is a 14-inch cone, and the 1.5-inch ribbon is cut to 3.5-inch pieces. Let's try to overlap these. Squeeze one more in.
Sam, this cone is roughly 9 inches. It's 8.8, but it's 9 inches.
Yeah, they call it the 9-inch cone.
The taller one is 13.8, so it's 14 inches.
Yeah, weird, right?
Yep.
Okay, this is my last one here. Again, I was just in a position where I'm like, oh, I could just end it, or I could scoot it over and add another one. So just like a real tree, we scooted it over. And then
Elaine asked, where would you put the price on these trees?
the 14-inch ones, I would price just the way that it is right now at $35. If you embellish it and add lights, obviously it's going to go up because the light set of the fairy lights could run upwards to like $9.99. So
And the smaller one, what, you said 25?
25, yeah. Although I look at it and I go, man, that looks so much nicer than 25. But
That's without shipping if you guys decide to sell it on Etsy.
yeah, you still need to include shipping.
Yeah.
But the good thing is they're only 9 inches, so they should ship fairly easy. So I'm hoping we can end with this one. So I don't know though. I really wanted to end with this. So what do you have? The gingham? I have to try to squeeze that one in so that I can try to get this to be on the top, so that I can end with a cone that's green and not a cone that's gingham.
For the 9-inch, she'll put the material list on the private group on how many pieces were cut.
Yeah, I
for,
don't know until we
one.
actually do it.
Yeah.
Like, I have one that I did from last year, but the cone sizes are different.
Right.
I think I did a 12-inch cone last year and a 6-inch. So now we have 14 and 9. So that all changes the materials list. So you don't know until you build one, and then you're like, okay. And even still, based on the fact that we cut the wrong ones instead of the regular plaid, that was just my goof, because I was giving Steve a list. Cut this many, this level should be at this, and it didn't work out. One last, what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to turn out? Do you think I'll be able to get like one level of green after the gingham? Or do you think it's going to be gingham?
I think it's going to be gingham.
Well, then what I could do is just keep going green and finish green at the top.
Yeah.
Because I want the top point to be the green. So there's a thing, right?
Yep.
So we'll just keep adding the green and we'll finish it all the way up. So we'll just keep adding green because we only have about, that was 6. So I'm thinking this one will be 5 if I can squeeze it with the tip, and that should finish it. So let us, because we're getting close to the top, let's try to find green, and which we are. And I think what I want to do is pin my cone to the top so that I can pin over it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get a good point.
The tough part is, will you still see the pins?
You might.
Because that one you could just almost set on the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I might just do that. I think we will. So unless I make a better cone, I will. Because like Steve says, that actually will, if I pin my pins.
Make it a little bit looser so it'll slide on better.
Well, no, that one's perfect. The one I just did.
But when you try to add the next layer on, might be a little too thick.
No, it won't. So, but I am using green pins and pinning them.
Ruth said, thank you for these demos. The trees are adorable and would make excellent gifts. You're an amazing teacher.
Aw, thanks, Ruth.
Thanks, Ruth.
And I keep trying. So see what I'm doing? I'm kind of taking them and bringing them all the way to the top with little green pins.
So you're not going to do the gingham?
No. I said we were just going to finish the top layer with the green. Why do you think we should go gingham?
Well, it's got a pattern so far, and it's up to you. Don't make me sway your judgment.
Let me finish this and see how it looks. Because if I don't like it, then I can always come in with however many pieces of the gingham and then top it.
Sherry, now these pieces are 1.5 inches wide ribbon cut to 4 inches.
So I'm thinking I need 5. I just can't get it sometimes to go in the perfect cone because the wire just doesn't want to bend. Green, just in case they're seen. Let me see what I think. Steve might be right. It might be you developed the pattern, therefore finish the pattern. Bring that down. There we go. I know I was just trying to finish the top of the tree to look like a tree.
Mhm.
So, okay. The good thing is because it's just pinned, you can always unpin it and go with.
Mary said, I like the dark green cone ribbon as it looks like more like a real pine tree. Yeah, it does. The green definitely does.
It most definitely does. Okay. Angle down. So here is our top. So this is what I'm saying, our top depends on how we angle that. It could end, trying to get all the glue threads. It could end just like so, or do we want to finish the pattern? Why do you have to do that? See how easy it is to change your mind? Mm-hmm. 5 more pieces.
Yep.
I'll be happy that it's that continuity thing,
Do you
right?
have enough?
Oh yeah, I have enough. I have more than enough cut. I'm just trying to get the piece to not bend. Sometimes the ribbon, like I said, it just doesn't want to bend. It wants to fold.
Oh, the wire part, yeah.
Yeah. So let's take these. And now we'll go.
Right. Mariana said, I love it so much. I think it would look cute with small twigs added to it.
It
You do
could.
such a great job of teaching.
See, and I can't wait to see what you guys will do with it. Like, what spin will you guys put on it?
Oh, you could do that too. She said, why not add the gingham and green, like, and do every other one?
No, because then where it's the green, you're like, okay, it looks good where there's the gingham, but
Yeah.
where there's the green, it's like double.
Yeah, so you either got to keep with the pattern or...
And Steve's a pattern guy, so he would keep with the pattern, right?
Mhm.
So that's what I'm doing. Keeping with the
It either
pattern.
needs to be same in the pattern or all one color.
So we're going same in the pattern.
Or all just different colors all over the place.
No, we don't want to go all different colors. Yeah, if we were not consistent in
Right.
layers and we were just mixing color combos, which if you look on Pinterest, the people who mix and match like all their old ribbon samples, it looks really pretty. If you keep them in the same palette, like red, white, and green, but all different kinds of patterns and textures, it looks really pretty. So I'm trying to keep my greens pinned down. Trying to keep them. It's so hard to make smaller version cones as you go up to the top.
Yeah, Sandy, that's kind of the hard part. She said I would cut the ribbon shorter for the top few layers to help it lay down, but if you cut it shorter...
Then it doesn't want it to go into cone shape.
Right, it makes it harder to make the cone shape.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can cut
Yeah.
the width and try to get a cone out of it. So I'm just trying to be pretty consistent with how it looks. One
Yeah, that would be
more
adorable if
piece.
it had little tiny pine cones in between.
Like the baby pine cones that
Yeah.
you can get those at Hobby Lobby.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have a bag of them. I just don't have them here. So I might play with that on the embellishment side of it and add pine cones in, because I have the red pit berries too. Just didn't think to bring those out. Trying not to burn myself as I get that kind of tacky. And the last green. So, oh, and it looks so pretty, because if you look at it, look, I'm gonna have to show it. Look, it looks like a star on the top.
Oh, hold on.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
So the 5 on top made it look like a little star. So that's what I see. And see how you can see the little white pins? Like if you look through the layers, you can see them, but it looks nice. It doesn't look like, oh, wow, I can see the pins. No, it actually, like, it has a plan and a purpose for that.
Right. Or you could try to find all one color pin, all green or black.
Yes, you could. So let's see. Let me try making a fatter cone for the top.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It'd be tough though.
Not necessarily. I just need it to.
Bev, it is. Her glue gun's on low.
Let's see.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay. Let me. Didn't want that. Well, phrase. Let us do it here. Okay. Now we have the cone on top. And I will secure it with a green pin. So hard getting the green ones out, the little baby greens. And there you have it. Just like so. All set. And we finished it.
Yep.
What do you guys think? Do you like the way it looks?
And you can show her even the little base colors if you wanted to add those, or the little baby pine cones.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I'm just adding a couple more pins to the top. Again, kind of green. Just to make sure that stays on top. So this is what Steve is. Let me put all these things back so I don't mix my 1.5 inches with all the inch. So
yeah, they're all saying put the star on it.
see, it'd be kind of hard. I guess you could.
Yeah, you just have to do the same thing as glue it.
Yeah, you would. You'd have to kind of cut. Let's see.
Well, that's not right then.
Well, I know that's not right, but
yeah.
Something along that line. So yeah, you could baby pine cone, put a what was the other?
The other pine cones are the glitter balls.
Yeah, definite glitter balls.
Which you've got some in your container.
Yeah,
Yeah, red buffalo plaid ribbon. Well, that would look cute.
that would. See, you guys could totally go like do red, then black, then buffalo plaid, and then even there's so many super cute ribbons. Like I should have brought the black and red ones I just found. So let me show you that one. That one's all done, but this is what I was saying for embellishments. So the scatters and fillers, right? Because you can get those Hobby Lobby. You can order them off of Amazon, right? But they're a little expensive on the Amazon side.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to add ornamentation, like to, look at how pretty that would be. Little sparkles, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, you want to add little red sparkle balls to your primitive tree. You take the wooden skewer, Dollar Tree, 99 cents. You just kind of poke a hole in it, right? And then you have to get the long straight pins. You need the 1.5 inch ones with the balls. And then you pop that in to the little hole you just made with the skewer. You top it off with the glue. Let's give it a sec to dry. Since it's on low, it should dry pretty quick. But then this makes it super easy for you to just take these and go right into your foam tree and they'll stick perfectly. I just don't want this to adhere to my ribbon. So it's all set, and look, we can just kind of take it if we wanted to, and you just push them in. So you don't have to do the glue. You can put all different kinds of scatters and fillers. Like I pre-made a whole bunch of them for the rose gold one. So let's push this to the side. Let's push this one over. So I made bigger ones for the bottom. So look, you can just sit here and poke them all through. So you have super pretty embellishments on your tree. So just like so.
So Kathy, you really want to glue it on because you'd have to glue it way into the base.
Yep.
So these pins make it so they stick out a little bit. So you see some depth.
See, so you can embellish them if you want to totally dress it up. You can add your lights. Like once you do the ribbon, just take your strand of fairy lights and wind it all the way up. Like I said, decorate it as a package. And then add some of your scatters and fillers. Like they have them, like even in Hobby Lobby has them
Champagne
in like
colors.
yeah. So if you wanted to come in and add some ivory, you could add ivory for our red, whatever. Like that looks really pretty, like with the one that we added right there.
Yeah. And
so if you wanted to do that, you could do that.
And Barbara said you could even use small red bells.
Yes, you can.
Those would be cute.
So I just found a super easy way to just make my own little embellishments by putting my pins in. And then you would just create a whole bunch of them, and then you could just sit there and embellish to your heart's desire. You could take, they even have these from Hobby Lobby. They're like little snowflakes. I don't know how well that would look here, but you could do the same thing. You would add a pin. See if you can add a pin. Put a pin straight through, because they have little holes in them. So you could have little icicles, little snowflakes.
Yeah, however you want an embellishment.
There's a ton. So just take the time and go to Hobby Lobby's miniature section, and then you can sit here and just embellish away, right? Like this one. So we would just add red and glitter balls. And then the more that you embellish, you have to price upwards. You can't leave it at 35 and then just add a ton of pins and balls and then add the lights and crazy stuff. So just kind of make sure you're where you're at with your designs. And hopefully you guys found this informative. This is what we made. Well, I showed you how to make this one with this one. And then we crafted this one together in segment 2. This is your actual tree ribbon tree. This is a loop ribbon tree.
Tammy, it takes about a half of each roll of ribbon to do one tree.
The 14.
Yeah,
To do
14
the 14.
inch.
Probably only a third maybe to get through here.
So if you're using 5 different colors, you're going to go through 2.5 inch or 2.5 rolls total.
Yeah. It just depends on where you space them, how, you might look at 3.5 inches for these and it might not feel like there's enough ribbon, so you might want to stretch it to 4. If you do, then you're going to use up a little bit more ribbon.
Right.
So it just depends on placement and how many you decide to do. The more colors you get, the more layers, the less ribbon you use per roll, so you won't necessarily go through a half a roll. But it just depends on what you do.
Yep.
So hopefully you guys liked our tutorial today, on making the ribbon Christmas trees. And there we go. We're all done. Do you guys have any questions at all before we let you guys go for the weekend?
They're so cute. Thank you for showing us this.
You're welcome. It's fun. It's really a whole lot of fun. I'm going to challenge my family to make these at Thanksgiving. We're going to get them all a cone. And Mom's going to drag out the leftover ribbon. And, because normally we do Christmas cookies at Christmas, right? So maybe we'll do ribbon trees. And then they can all take home their own tree and add it to their decor. However they'd like. Any other questions, babe?
That's it.
Okay. Well, you guys have a great night. And I will see my private group people Sunday. We're making teardrop Christmas swag. So, like the teardrop garland kind of swag. So, if you're interested in joining my private group, it's at KatsCreations, the letter N, the word more.com. It's $17 a month, and we do, right now, we have been through September, we're doing 8 extra tutorials. I realize that I've been doing an awful lot in the public group, but the private group is more geared to specialty items like the angel tree toppers, the corner swags, which we'll be doing in our private group. What else? Teardrop swag, just all kinds of more advanced type of designs. And then in January, we start our business classes back up, in addition to tutorials. Okay, everyone. Well, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.